Hey guys, Joe here. Hope you're doing well and having an awesome start to the week. I wanted to share something with you because I just had this conversation on a podcast interview and I feel like it's very relevant considering it has to do with outsourcing. So let me just give you the quick backstory because it brings the lesson home like really harsh. And that was I had a team member in my company that I believed was unbelievably important. This person, basically, if she disappeared, the company would fall. And the reason I think that I had that belief is because she was the one who brought me the entire concept of building a virtual assistant company. It was her idea. I didn't even want to do it in the beginning, but she said, hey, we can run it for you as long as you can help us get it going. And so I'm like, great, let's go ahead and do it. We built the company. We started having all of this crazy success. It was amazing. All of those things. I felt like this company can't operate without her because she's been here since the very beginning. So many of the processes and the systems were things that she had built with other team members. And so how in the heck could this thing function without her? I decided at that time it was a good idea to move her into more of an executive role. I was going to give her some equity in the company. We were going to continue to grow and do all these amazing things, but she deserved to be an executive. And at the time, she was running operations and doing a fantastic job. Specifically, or I thought she was doing a fantastic job. Specifically, she was amazing with our placements. And that's taking our virtual staff and connecting them to clients. And I thought there's no way that I can go without her. I need to move her up so that her career continues to advance. After all of these years, of course, this is what she wants. As we've been trying to do this for months and months go by, I'm always met with friction. We would ask her, hey, you need to replace yourself. Hey, you need to bring on this other team member so that they can do this. And there was always friction and we never got a replacement. And so months and months of this going by and I'm like, you're really good at this. Like, how are you not able to replace yourself? And so finally something happens. I happen to be going on vacation with my family. We're in an airplane, 30,000 feet, and I'm on my computer and I'm trying to get a little bit of work done while the kids are napping and my wife's sitting there reading. And I watch as it unfolds in real time. I see messages going back and forth between this person and one of our clients. And it was a very negative experience for the client. The client cancels due to a direct breakdown with this person, very dishonest acts. And we lose the client, but not only is the client mad, the client also had some referrals that were in the process of signing up and we lost those too. And so there's this direct financial impact and I'm watching, I'm going, that is not, like, what happened? That is not normal that she would literally break our ethics of the company, right? Like the integrity of the company was literally just demolished and I was pissed. And so I'm questioning her about it in real time from 30,000 feet on Slack and I get back, fuck you, I quit. And I was like, wait, what? And so I immediately go into like freak out mode. And my wife looks over and she can tell that I'm just like totally losing my shit. And I'm like, my whole company is gonna fall apart. That's the belief that I had, which is just idiotic, but I had it. So I do what I always do in these situations and I go, great, let me just jot down all of my thoughts. Let me get this stuff out of my head. How can we continue if this person isn't here? What needs to happen from 0 to 1,000? What are these things? Who needs to help? Where do people have to step in? Who has to step up? I'm going on vacation. I can't even be around. I can't even help you. And I said, all right, fine. Like, I got to get this stuff out. So I do that. We land, we get to the hotel. I make one video and say, hey, this is all the stuff. Here's how bad things are. Let's get on one meeting because then I'm gone. And we get on one meeting. I go through everything that we need. My team reassures me, Joe, we got it. You're good. And I'm like, all right, I'll see you in 5 days. And so I'm like, okay, shit, this is going to be bad. So I keep checking my phone. We've got internet, but I'm just like, I don't know how bad things are going to be. And I come back after vacation and we actually I don't even check in because I have no red flags. I have no fires. And I check back in and we see nothing's broken. And I can't believe it. And I can't figure out why. And so I'm more concerned about why isn't everything breaking and everything's okay? Why? Something's wrong because nothing's wrong. And I'm freaking out. And so as I come back to, and I think we were gone for 7 or 8 days, I step back in and I go, okay, guys, what's going on? Give me the rundown. And somebody has the courage to step up and they say, hey, Joe, we just have to tell you, like, this is the greatest thing that happened. And I'm like, what do you mean? They said, dude, it was so hard to work with her. It was terrible working for her. We didn't like having her as our manager, our director, etc. This is a really good thing. And as you can see, we're performing very well without her. And I was like, holy shit. So there were two lessons that came out of that. Number one, I was trying to push somebody into a role they didn't want. They didn't have the courage to tell me that they didn't want it. I felt like they should have it just because that's where they should be going next. That was my belief, not hers. The second thing was that I didn't give my team the security that they could trust me enough to tell me the truth. And the truth was they didn't like working for her. Her truth was she didn't want that role. And all of those things converged at the same time. And I learned this massive lesson that I don't know that I could ever forget. It has probably been one of my guiding factors in growing teams now. And I'm so grateful that I was given the opportunity to actually have this lesson. But it has been phenomenal to understand this. And so as you're growing your team and as you're moving people through your organization and you want somebody to go to a certain level, or you think you have somebody who's just this A player badass that you can't live without, give your team the opportunity to be honest, to tell you the truth, to evaluate one another, to evaluate the rest of their team. This is important. They have to be able to tell you the truth. They have to be able to, they have to trust you enough that what they say doesn't affect anything. You're not going to come back on them later. And at the time, I wasn't a very good leader when it came to that kind of stuff. And so I think that really focusing on creating that amount of value, like the impact that it has over the long haul, is unbelievable. The relationships I have now with the same people who were here. Like, by the way, I think there's only been one person that we let go since then. Like one person, that's it. And everybody else is still inside our business. They still work with us. And so I want you to understand that impact. That is huge. We don't lose people due to these kinds of factors. And it's just something that I look at constantly when I want to move somebody in the company and I feel like somebody, maybe they need a little bit more responsibility. Maybe they need to move laterally. I sit down and I have a real conversation, or I should say I do that with the executive level team, but my HR department has clear guidelines that every single person we have to sit down and go, hey, what do you want? Where do you want to be? What's good for your family? What's good for you personally? What's good for your work-life balance? Would you like more responsibility? Then you turn around and you go, hey, team, how do you guys like working with this person? How is it? How do they treat you? How do you treat them? On and all these things. And we actually figure all of that stuff out so that when we move somebody into a role, when we move them laterally, vertically, whatever, we know that it's the right fit for everyone. And since we've been doing this, the results are incredible. I can't even tell you how happy I am about it. That's a big ass lesson. It hurt really bad to learn it because I had to do so much looking in the mirror. And so I hope everybody takes this lesson, both of these lessons, and then you go build awesome teams.